Some women don't chase. And yeah, they're never forgotten. They linger in the shadows of a man's mind, pulling him into a madness he can't name. Welcome to the FunnyFun Channel, where the mysteries of the soul unfold like forgotten dreams, blending the depths of psychology with the fire of empowerment. Here, we dive into the unseen forces that shape desire, revealing secrets that transform silence into power. Today, we unravel the 5 secrets of your inner anima, that eternal feminine archetype within every woman. Inspired by Carl Jung's profound visions, these secrets drive men to the edge of reason, not through pursuit, but through the quiet storm of projection and shadow. Imagine a woman who stands at the threshold of a man's unconscious, her presence a mirror he dare not shatter. She embodies the anima, that soul image Jung described as the bridge to the unknown self, whispering truths he's buried deep. In her gaze, he sees not just beauty, but the fragments of his own unclaimed femininity, tender, intuitive, wild. Yet, when she withdraws, his ego recoils, projecting onto her the chaos he fears within. This is the first secret, the anima's veil of mystery, where feminine attraction blooms not from words, but from the unspoken. She doesn't explain her depths, she lets them echo in the silence between them. Picture her in the dim light of a crowded room, her eyes meeting his across the haze of conversation. He approaches, drawn by an invisible thread, his animus, the masculine counterpart, stirring in response to her quiet allure. But as the night unfolds, she reveals nothing overt, no desperate cling of attachment. Instead, she holds space for his projections, those stoic masks of control cracking under the weight of unspoken desire. Jung taught that the anima is the gateway to individuation, the journey toward wholeness. Yet men often mistake her for salvation, projecting their unresolved shadows onto her form. She becomes the siren, the muse, the betrayer, all illusions born from his ego's refusal to face its own voids. In this dance, feminine attraction weaves with attachment dynamics. She offers glimpses of emotional self-worth, not as a gift, but as a reflection. He chases the high of her validation, only to find it slips away like sand, driving him toward madness. The tension builds here, a slow burn where his trauma echoes perhaps the abandonment of childhood, now resurfacing in her deliberate detachment. Stoicism urges him to endure, to suppress the ache, but her anima provokes the opposite, a resonant pull toward vulnerability he resists. As the archetypal woman moves through his world, she embodies the second secret, the shadow's whisper. Jung's shadow work demands confronting the hidden self, those repressed impulses that fester in the dark. She doesn't force this, she simply exists as the catalyst. In her presence, his projections intensify. He accuses her of coldness, when it's his own unhealed wounds projecting. He accuses her of coldness, when it's his own unhealed wounds projecting outward. Imagine her walking away from a heated exchange, not in anger, but in serene awareness. He follows, his mind a whirlwind of confusion. Why does her silence feel like a blade? This is where trauma psychology intersects, the echoes of past betrayals amplifying his attachment anxiety. Yet, she practices stoic indifference, not to wound, but to preserve her inner equilibrium. Her emotional self-worth remains unshaken, a fortress built from individuation's fire. You feel it now, don't you? That subtle shift when you choose silence over explanation, watching as his ego unravels. The madness creeps in, his desire twisting into obsession, for she mirrors back his unintegrated anima, tender yet fierce, demanding he face what he's long denied. The night deepens, and in a quiet cafe under flickering lights, their conversation turns inward. He shares fragments of his life, seeking her approval, but she responds with questions that pierce like arrows, gently, poetically, unraveling his defenses. This is the third secret, the anima's alchemy of desire and detachment. Jung spoke of the animus as the woman's inner masculine, guiding her toward logic amid emotion. But here, she wields it to foster his growth. Feminine attraction isn't about possession. It's a transient flame that burns brightest in mystery. He leans in, his breath quickening, attachment forming like vines around his heart. Yet, she detaches, not cruelly, but with the stoic wisdom that true connection arises from self-mastery. Trauma's shadows loom his fear of loss, projecting onto her every pause, turning desire into torment. An emotional turning point arrives. He confesses a vulnerability, expecting her to cradle it, but she nods, offering space instead of rescue. The resonance hits like thunder. His ego fractures, revealing the madness of chasing what was never meant to be caught. In this moment, you sense the power surging within the provocation to embrace your own anima, letting it drive him toward his own shadows without apology. Dawn approaches, casting long shadows over the city's streets as they part ways. He lingers, his mind replaying her words, her silences, the way her presence stirred something primal. The fourth secret unfolds, the projection's cruel mirror. Jung warned that unacknowledged anima leads to infatuation's madness, where men project their ideal onto the woman only to rage when reality intrudes. She, the archetypal embodiment, navigates this with emotional self-worth, forged in individuation, integrating her shadows, her traumas, into a tapestry of strength. Stoicism provides contrast, while he clings to control, suppressing the ache of attachment. She flows like water, unattached yet deeply resonant. Imagine her turning away, her steps deliberate, leaving him in the grip of internal shifts. Desire morphs into desperation. He texts, calls, seeking closure she won't provide. This turning point cracks open his world. The realization that his madness stems not from her, but from the anima he's projected, now demanding integration. You know this tension intimately. When you withhold explanation, his projections amplify, pulling him deeper into the abyss of self-confrontation. As the sun rises, painting the horizon in hues of gold and crimson, she vanishes into the morning mist, a ghost in his memory. But the madness lingers, a fifth secret revealed. The anima's path to liberation through mystery's embrace. Jung's individuation calls for uniting opposites, ego and shadow, anima and animus, yet men often falter, their trauma fueling endless pursuit. She, empowered, detaches with stoic grace, her attachment dynamics rooted in self, not other. Emotional self-worth becomes her shield, turning his projections into opportunities for her growth. In a final turning point, he stands alone, the silence deafening, desire unresolved, mystery unresolved. He spirals, questioning his sanity, until glimpses of awareness dawn. She wasn't the cause, but the mirror. This resonance echoes through time, a poetic unraveling where feminine attraction transcends the physical, becoming eternal. The archetypal woman walks on, her inner anima awakened, driving not just him, but the world toward wholeness. And in this unfolding tale of shadows and light, where the anima whispers secrets that echo through the soul, remember the vessel that brought these depths to life, the FunnyFun Channel.